오늘 6시간 반을 투어를 하는데 너의 미션, 너의 오늘 하루 임금이 23불이 되는 거야. 그러고 이거 엄청 비싼 거 아니냐? 어? 저 안에 들어갈 수 있나 보다. Thank you. Thank you. 대단하다, 않아? 그대로 보존돼 있어.
이게 뭐야? 이건 뭐 하는 거였어? 가운데 사적이 왜 없어? 이건 뭐야?
그건 이제 이거를 하나 또 여기 봐, 여기 봐. 가자. 가자. Thank you.
Larnach.
Yeah.
That's the name of the businessman who he owned it. He built it. Larnach.
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 Mr. Larnach.
Mr. Larnach. Yes. Yes.
Mr. Larnach.
Yes. Yes. Scottish name. A Scottish name. Larnach. Yes.
Larnach.
Now, this was never a military fort.
Yeah.
It was just a grand home.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
for the Larnach family. Yeah. I mean, Ulverston is gorgeous, and I love it because of what's in there, and it's a time capsule. This is different because Lanach's he made a lot of money. He did really well. He was a powerful man in the country generally, but then things went bad for him, financially, politically, and in terms of his family situation as well. And in the end, he had no money, and so especially with the albatrosses, if there's not enough wind, they won't fly. So today may be good, yeah. And hopefully there might be some coming ashore, or maybe starting to nest, maybe. Penguins maybe, seals yes, albatross probably as well, the big birds too. And then that's the plan.
Okay.
Along the way I will try and explain to you some of the history of Dunedin. Do you know much about... So the container port is up here at Port Chalmers. So we're here.
Yeah.
The container port, most of the ships come to here and back out again.
Yeah.
They used to come all the way up here to the city.
Yeah.
So this was not to come up the coast. This was the first safe harbour in New Zealand. So this here was the first real port in the country. It was the warehousing location for the whole country in the 1800s. This was the first city in New Zealand, and remained the first city and the biggest city until well into the 1900s. We've been overtaken. It was originally owned by Larnach from Larnach Castle. He was a businessman in the city. Yeah. His castle, his home, was a long way down the platform. The container train there, over behind that, looks like not an island. Channel. Yeah. Up to there, and another channel right up to here. There's dredging. Ships to sand. It's built to kind of...
Anyway, so 50 years ago, so this castle is nothing.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
He was a banker, an entrepreneur, a businessman, a politician, a farmer. He was the big man about town. Importing building materials all around the world.
Yeah.
He was exporting timber all around the world as well. He was trying to sell them building materials. He could say, look, come and look, this is what you can do if you've got money.
Yeah, kind of showroom.
Yes,
yeah.
kind of, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I mean, the floor glass came from Venice and it's 15 millimeters thick, 20 tons just to glass in the verandas here. The bricks came from Europe.
came for you.
This one won't stay there. The limestone will always be degrading. Each brick was 1 shilling each for those bricks in those days. That was a week's pay for a worker. So imagine, because this is a castle. They've been like 50 years. They've been restoring the building. But as we come in here, there's a bucket on the floor because there's a leak in the ceiling. These tiles originally came from Stoke-on-Trent in England. That's where you got the best tiles from in the world. He got the best of everything. Does anyone play the piano?
Yeah.
You're allowed to play this one. Go on. This was their music room.
A music room.
Music room. So they could, because they were fond of that was their entertainment at night. Was they didn't have television or radio. They just played the piano basically. I said how with the bankruptcy everything was sold off. Most of what's in here wasn't in the castle originally, but his third wife as a wedding gift. He had 3 wives. The first wife died. When she died, a year later, Larnach married her half sister, who was already living in the castle here. Someone to look after children in the castle. She died 5 years later at the age of 38 as well. He married a 3rd time. He was 58. She was about 36. But he had chains on his windows because they would last forever. They'll last 150 years. So all the furniture in here is not original, but it certainly is from the time. It's a quite extraordinary bedroom suite. This massive wardrobe apparently comes apart with screws and nails. There's a bathroom over here which is probably original. Around the castle, just the absolute best. This is the coal scuttle. So it would have been taken down to the basement. They would have filled it up with coal. There's all the land, all the trees was taken away because he wanted the views. He wanted to be seen, but also he wanted to watch the ships coming. He had his company had 14 ships coming. It's kind of like what would we have these days? We'd have an MP3 player or this rotates around and it would generate music. This is actually now the architect for that first church was the same man who was the architect here for the castle. Now that's not the first church. That's the Larnach family tomb in the Northern Cemetery in Dunedin. So he got the same architect to design the family tomb. Now the spire on his family tomb is 17 meters high. So even in death, he wanted to be the big man. The castle was being the big man, but even the family tomb, 17 meters high, was just extravagant. So behind here was the lifts that brought the food up from the kitchens below. This is the butler's pantry where the... yes. So here the family dined. Now this, including this one here, which proved to be very much from this place. You'll see the decorations around here are the same as around the walls, and the rest is wood. Now, he got 3 carvers from Europe here. They were here for 12 years. Still in the very earliest days. Probably not glassed in. That was the plan. A terrible plan because it was so windy and cold and wet. And there's a convex mirror for the butler. The etiquette of the time, the manners, the butler was not allowed to watch them eating. The butler had to stand here. So this way here, this is the woman's room. So the woman after dining would come through into the drawing room here. Now as you can see, this room the woman came. They would eat and then come into here. Just being.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. 1967. Barry Barker and Margaret Barker, 1967. They were just married. They were on their honeymoon in Dunedin when they saw this place. They said, let's buy it. They said, okay, let's buy it. This is their son here, who was the second born. Norcus would take the coals from the fire, put them inside the pan, and then move the pan backwards and forwards between the sheets to warm the sheets up so that when Larnach came to bed, the bed was nice and warm. So the bath here is a solid piece of marble. It weighs 1 ton. Somehow they got it up here. I don't know how. Now the water for the bath would have been come up in buckets
예.
from down below, brought up and tipped into the bath. I hope it drained away by itself.
예, 예.
Maybe it did. But the water, these here are newer. But in Larnach's time, no taps,
예.
just buckets.
아, 오케이.
They had no running water.
예, 예. 예.
They had gas, but no running water.
예.
Coming up.
카미가 네.
How many stairs is it?
우와. 와.
Later.
어. 아, 볼룸.
볼룸 in the cafe.
어.
On the stage, there is a
어, 너 여기다가.